Ryan had his teeth right against Sophie's spine. Either she played the parts of her princess, or he had split her open. Someone grabbed at Agatha's arm. "She's here!" a toothless man croaked. "I found her! I found Tetra's queen!" By the time anyone heard him, Agatha was already running. She whipped through the gauntlet of bodies towards the castle gates, the face best slamming against her. She glanced back, spotting a dozen guards starting to pour through the crowd. Agatha ran and went over the broken drawbridge, down the carriage roads, now far out of sight of the guards. But still, she went until she was down the hill, catching her breath just long enough to look up at the sunlit castle, where guards took Tetris away as Ryan placed the camera's crown upon his own head, Sophie still tight against him. And as a cloud passed over the sun, sending the scenes into shadows, the last thing Agatha saw was a new king cast in a golden glow, and the old one dragged into the dark by his twisted green chains. The snake became the lion, and the lion became the snake. Their cells of light paralyzed her brain and weighed on her chest. Her lungs pinned under the force of a boulder. She couldn't think anymore, as if she had lost the top of her head, and any thoughts were flying away before she could catch them. Her hands and feet seemed to move where her eyes and mouth were. Her eyes and mouth now down by her knees. She didn't know where she was or how she had gotten there. She didn't know her own name or if this was happening in past or present, in forward or reverse. Two other bodies floated near her, but she didn't know whose they were or if they were human or monster. "Touch the crystal," a voice echoed. "Crystal? What crystal?" "Touch the crystal." Pomaded by the light, she stepped out her hand, two other hands flashing into hers at the same time, all of them finding nothing but water. Agatha tore herself off the wall, reaching further, running out of breath. Her hands grabbed the glass. Instantly, her body shattered like she was made of glass too, any last shards of awareness shattering with it. For a moment, there was nothing, just light inhaling her, then crumbling to darkness like a sheet of paper tearing in at the edges. Slowly, she reassembled body, soul, self. The School for Good and Evil. A Crystal of Time. In the forest Primeval, a school for good and evil, two towers like twin heads, one for the pure, one for the wicked. Try to escape, you'll always fail. The only way out is through a fairy tale. Agatha, the Lady and the Snake. When the new king of Camelot intends to kill your true love, kidnap your best friend, and hunts you down like a dog, you better have a plan. But Agatha had no plan. She had no allies. She had no place to hide. So she went. She went as far from Camelot as she could, with no direction or destination, ripping through the endless woods, her black dress catching on nettles and branches as the sun rose and fell. She went as the bag with a dense crystal ball swung and throbbed against her ribs. She went as wanted posters with her face began appearing on trees, a warning that news traveled faster than her legs could carry her, and that there was nowhere safe for her anymore. By the second day, her feet blistered, her muscles throbbed. Fed only by berries and apples and mushrooms she snatched along the way. She seemed to be going in circles, the smoky riverbanks of Mahadava, the borders of Gillikin, then back to Mahadava in the pale dawn. She couldn't think about the plan or shelter. She couldn't think about the present at all. Her thoughts were in the past. Tattoos in chains, sentenced to die. Her friends imprisoned. Merlin jetted away unconscious. An evil villain wearing Tattoo's crown. She struggled through an assault of pink fog, searching for the path. Wasn't Skillican the kingdom with the pink fog? Hadn't Yuba the clone taught them at that school? But she had left Skillican hours ago. How could she be there again? She needed to pay attention. She needed to think forward instead of backward. But now all she could see were clouds of pink fog taking the shape of the snake. Then mastered, scale-covered boy who she had been sure was dead, but a boy she had just seen alive. By the time she came out of her thoughts, the fog was gone and it was night time. Somehow she had ended up in the steam forest with no trace of a path. A storm swept in, slinging lightning through trees. She cowered under an overgrown toadstool.